It was, viewers, as the lines on top of your screen suggest, disorder by design, disruption by design, as the Prime Minister rose to speak on the motion of thanks. Viewers, as he was supposed to enter the House, he turned away, viewers. Before entering the House, he turned away because, viewers, what was confronting him was an unprecedented situation. The well of the House turned into a theatre of chaos. The target was clear: derail the Prime Minister's speech, disrupt the House, and dominate the moment through intimidation rather than argument. Congress MPs didn't just shout slogans, they physically crowded the Prime Minister's seat, blocked the aisle he was meant to walk down, and refused to relent even after repeated appeals from ministers and the chair. Yes, viewers, complete bedlam in the House. I'll give you the sequence of events. Congress MPs stood near the Prime Minister's chair in the Lok Sabha. Women MPs obstructed the aisle that Prime Minister would have walked down. Union Ministers Vaishnav and others tried to reason with the opposition MPs, said that, look, at least let the Prime Minister come in, speak, lay out his case, and then you can interrogate him. That is democratic discourse. P.P. Chaudhary called as officiating speaker, but opposition did not relent. With all efforts going to vain, the House was then adjourned. Outside Parliament, viewers, and I'll show you those pictures, you'll be shocked. Outside Parliament, look at the middle of your screens. The scene spilled beyond disruption into personal confrontation. Union Minister Ravneet Bittu refused to shake hands with Rahul Gandhi because Rahul Gandhi, viewers, called him a traitor. Mr. Bittu made a joke. He said all these people who are gathered at the Makkah Dwar on the steps of Parliament look as if they won a big victory in Kargil. Rahul Gandhi took it so personally. He said this man is an enemy of the state, Desh ke dushman. And he said this is the same person who served me for many years and now has become a turncoat. All of this triggered, viewers, a bitter exchange of accusations, traitor versus enemy of the nation. Listen in. I'll just put the nat up on those pictures. Listen to this exchange. We've annotated it for you. Let's go. Let's play it out.
Thank you. No. The thing is, here is a traitor walking right by. Take a look at your face. This is what it looks like. Hello, brother. My traitor friend. Surrender. Don't worry, you'll come back.
Surrender. Don't worry, you will come back. This is a man who left the party. Viewers, in a democracy, even that is a choice, which party you want to align with. You're not sworn to a party. You might be sworn to a point of view. The error is in compromising on your ideology, not changing sides. But Rahul Gandhi believes, viewers, that he owns people, obviously, clearly, from that exchange. Mr. Bittu only joked in jest. He didn't call Rahul Gandhi any names. He didn't insinuate that he was some sort of a traitor. But Rahul Gandhi, viewers, appears to have decided to shame Mr. Ravneet Bittu because he was exercising his choice. The opposition insists it wants Rahul Gandhi to read selectively from a former army chief's memoir. It is fixated on that. and to bring out, viewers, the damage that can be done to reputations, etc. Today, one of the MPs of the BJP decided to come into the House with a book on Bofors scandal, and he started reading it. Clearly, the Congress got triggered, viewers, and they began to disrupt the House to the point, viewers, where the House stopped functioning. And it set the stage for all that we saw. The government insists on one basic democratic principle: let the Prime Minister speak. What opposition wants is to allow Rahul to read from an ex-army chief's memoir that is not even published. The government simply says, let's resume the motion of thanks in Parliament. But for viewers, bringing in a published book where the authors are on record and are open to question. The Congress wants the suspension of BJP MP Nishikant Dubey and terminate membership. The government says Prime Minister must be allowed to deliver an address. At least do that. We can deal with the rest later. The clash of priorities, viewers, tells its own story. When Parliament is held hostage, when debate is strangled, and when intimidation substitutes accountability, a red line is crossed. Tonight, the big question India must ask is simple but stark. Is the opposition defending democracy or dragging mobocracy into the House? Fundamental question. I want to open this up, viewers, because there is no point in being partisan here. If we are partisan, if we are selective, if we decide tonight to begin by apportioning guilt, we will be doing democracy of this country a disservice. We will be doing parliamentary practice a disservice. We will be doing Parliament a disservice. Parliament is the only forum in this country where the public gets to speak via its representatives. If that is turned into a space for bedlam, there's a problem. I want to first begin by expressing both my concern and a degree of commiserations for the Poonawalla brothers who join us, Shehzad and Tehseen, whose mother has suffered a terrible tragedy. Luckily, she is recuperating in hospital after having broken her pelvic bone because someone decided, whether by design or by viewers' default, to knock her down by their car. So on that somber note, I really want to start this debate because we're also speaking about the cradle of our democracy, literally, symbolically, the place where democracy was birthed. So Shehzad Poonawalla, I want you to first tell me, why is it that the government believes that today mobocracy has entered Parliament? Why would you say that?
See, right from inside Parliament to the stairs of Parliament, what have you seen? Sena ka apman, the manner in which unverified things are being quoted, the manner in which they have doubted Operation Sindoor, then Sansad ka apman, the manner in which rules of Sansad were broken by Rahul Gandhi, then Speaker ka apman, saying that Speaker is Yar. And by the way, at that point of time, the Speaker who was chairing the session was from the SC community, to throw the papers on his face, to dance on the table in front of him and to demean his position, and then to the Sikhon ka apman. The last part is the most hurtful part, because the Sikh community, and Anand will tell you in greater detail, is a community that signifies loyalty in every spirit and word. Whether it is Guru Gobind Singh, whether it's Guru Tegh Bahadur, they have defended Hind, they have defended Akhand Bharat idea, and then to call a member of the Sikh community. Now, some people will say that no, this was an off-the-cuff remark, it was a friendly banter, it was a political jibe. Then I would like to ask, Samajwadi Party has broken relation with Congress many times and they have come in relation many times. So would it be fair to say that Samajwadi Party is traitor? They will not use it for Imran Masood, who has gone from Samajwadi Party to Congress Party. Will they say Udit Raj, who has gone from BJP to Congress party, is a traitor? So it has been chosen only for a person who wears the turban, point one. And this is not a sayog, it is a socha samjha prayog, because Rahul Gandhi hates Sikh community. And I have been in Congress, I can tell you firsthand. They used to celebrate the statement of Rajiv Gandhi that the big tree has fallen and Sikhs have been massacred. They defended Sajjan Kumar for 34 years. Recently, they invited Jagdish Traitor to the International Indira Peace Award. Jagdish Titler was invited first row, who's been charged for the riots in Delhi, for the massacre in Delhi. Then they kept him in the Delhi committee of the elections of MCD. So there's a pattern of hatred towards Sikhs that is exhibited. And this statement was directed not just at Ravneet Bittu, whose family lost people for the safety of this country, security of this country. It is directed at the Sikh identity. And therefore, anybody on this panel should not start by defending it. I want to ask Ghanshyam, is Ravneet Bittu a traitor? चलो उसने पार्टी छोड़ी, घनश्याम ने भी छोड़ी, मैंने भी छोड़ी. Ghanshyam is traitor to JDU? Is he traitor to India? This is the mindset that you think that you are the country. And traitor is when you say Indian state के खिलाफ लड़ाई. Traitor is when you say that Aksai Chin दे दिया, भूल जाओ Aksai Chin. Traitor is when you give away Kacha Thivu Island, which belongs to the Tamil Nadu fishermen. This is being traitor.
Okay. So, from the exchange that I have seen on screen, unseemly it might be, but I think it was directed personally at Mr. Bittu. I don't think anywhere there was an insinuation that you're making. And Dr. Ranganathan, I don't know, you know the language better than perhaps I do, but I don't see where we are taking this by suggesting that someone who's walked out of a party, yes, you can call him a traitor, you know, in anything goes these days. But should we assume that this was meant for the entire Sikh community? Wouldn't that be a stretch? I know that some channels are putting out this line, but I stick to facts here. This is the hard facts. And I've heard a lot of people suddenly extrapolating and saying the whole Sikh community has been there. Sikhs on this other side also. They would have been the first to perhaps take umbrage. So are we overreading, overanalyzing? Yes, it's a charged situation, but are we adding too many layers here?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. And at the outset, just like you, I would like to wish the mother, wonderful mother, ma'am, of both my dear brothers, Shehzad and Tehseen, a very quick recovery. Three broader issues out here, but first to answer you immediately. When you say, are we looking too much into this when you, or Shehzad, brings in the entire Sikh community? Well, Shehzad is showing them the mirror. Because if you remember, any Muslim MP or Muslim leader, any abuse or epithet or jibe or taunt is thrown at him is immediately construed as an insult to the entire community. Not just that, it is consecrated in law, because any abuse or any assault against a member of a Dalit community, even though that assault did not happen because that member was a Dalit, is construed as a crime against Dalit. So Shehzad is showing them the mirror. These are the same people who immediately bring out the label of that particular person, which community he belongs to, as and when they deem fit. So, I mean, that aside, I just want to admire the amazing ecosystem the Congress and the left have built. It's been hardly a few hours till the time when Rahul Gandhi insulted, this gentleman out here. And look at what the Wikipedia says. It says Ravneet Singh Bittu, and what does it say? Is an Indian politician from Punjab, famously known as Traitor Friend. This is now how Bittu is going to be known as. Bittu is not going to be known as a 3-time MP. Bittu is not going to be known as belonging to a family that is directly responsible for saving Punjab from the talons of terrorism and from Pakistan. If Punjab is Punjab today, Rahul, and not Kashmir, or is still a part of India, we owe it to three people in a very large measure. One, to KPS Gilji. Second, to Ajit Doval of what he did in the operation on the Akal Takht. And the third is Mr. Bent Singh. And Bittu is the grandson of Bent Singh. To call him a traitor just because he left Congress is not just insulting towards Bittu, but insulting towards the family as well. Doesn't Rahul Gandhi know the antecedents of Bittu, which family he belongs to? And by that same logic, should Navjot Singh Sidhu also be called a traitor because he left BJP and joined Congress? Should Mamata Banerjee be called a traitor because she left Congress and made a party of her own? Where is all this leading to? I'll tell you where all this is leading to. It is leading to the realization that Rahul Gandhi's and his utterances can no longer be whisked away by saying these are utterances of a juvenile. No. These are utterances of a deep hatred that is almost visceral in Rahul Gandhi against India and Indians.
Mr. Tiwari, choice, as I began by saying, is central to democracy. I think anyone is free to choose who they want to support. They're also free to rescind on that support as long as it's not born out of coercion, corruption, this, that, the other. Here, if a man has decided to leave your party because he thinks that he's better served or he can do better service in another party, should he be labeled a traitor? I'm not going into whether the entire Sikh community here by extension has been called treacherous, but I'm only limiting myself to the comment that Mr. Rahul Gandhi made, which many people says reeks of a sense of entitlement. Are you running some sort of a private fief that anyone who leaves is being disloyal, and disloyal to whom in that sense? You can't be saying that I am free choice, I am pro-choice, I'm pro-freedom of expression, I'm pro-democracy, I'm pro-pluralism, and deny somebody or insult them for making a choice. Mr. Tiwari.
Good evening, Rahul, to you, my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. On 21st September 2023, any viewer can see, the BJP candidate who contested against Atishi in Delhi, then Member of Parliament Ramesh Biduri, called Danish Ali, then a BSP MP, slurs Muslim Ugrawadi, Bharwa, Katwa, Mullah Atankawadi. And BJP leaders, senior leaders like Ravi Shankar Prasad were thumping, happy as if a joke was cracked. And no one acted. In contrast, when we look at the sequence of events that happened, that led to this particular incident, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi, as leader of opposition, started speaking about the book or unpublished book, 4 Stars of Destiny, from Amit Shah to Rajnath Singh to Kiren Rijiju, almost the entire cabinet almost felt like an electric current, as if they did not want Parliament to learn about what is he talking about. To the extent that the speaker felt electric current, and every time he mentioned the Prime Minister, the speaker jolted. To the extent that the speaker would not allow the word China. This started a sequence of events that culminated into Mr. Nishikant Dubey, whose degrees are as illustrious as the Prime Minister's degrees, bringing these 6 different books to the Parliament, Nehru and Advina, Reminiscences of the Nehru Age, the Red Sari, the Accidental Prime Minister, and Bofors Gate. What is the summary of BJP's attack? That if you are going to discuss the way BJP leadership with Mr. Modi, Rajnath Singh, and the rest of the leadership relinquished their responsibility on the eve that China was ready to attack us, when you discuss that, we will try to prove that Nehru was anti-national, we will try to prove that Indira Gandhi was anti-national, we will try to prove that Rajiv Gandhi was anti-national. This is the approach of Bharatiya Janata Party. And final point is about traitor or no traitor. A basic Google search will tell you that nearly 500 leaders of the so-called Congress Mukta Abhiyan that Prime Minister ran, nearly 500 leaders on greed and fear or on their own goodwill, I don't know that, what their work is unknown, have switched from Congress Party to Bharatiya Janata Party. So are they doing national service? I don't know, but the nation wants to hear.
No, that's immaterial. I mean, that's an immaterial point. I don't see how that's very extraneous to the logic of the argument. Are people not allowed to exercise their choice? It's a very simple question. Well, yes, they are.
It depends on whether you have a gun on your head when you are exercising your choice.
That is your
subjective.
Okay, one second. Mr.
Whether
Tiwari,
you have CBI, ED behind you or not.
That is a subjective interpretation. By that logic, Rahul Gandhi should have crossed over to the BJP a long time back.
I said
except that even they won't want him. But just a minute. I just want to ask you a simple question. Is General Narvane's book published?
I think Parliament has the...
Is it published? Yes or no?
Allow me to complete. Is Nishikant Dubey's degrees published? Prime Minister's degree is
we
published.
are going like
responding
for
to it.
like. Please,
I'm
Mr.
responding to it.
Mr.
I'm
Tiwari.
responding to it. Please
Just
allow me.
answer simple.
You asked a
Is
question.
Mr.
Allow me my
Narvane's
way of
book,
response.
is Mr. Narvane's book published? Yes or no?
Please allow me my way to respond. The Prime Minister's degrees are published. Nishikant Dubey's degrees are published. Yet they can be questioned about that. Whether it is published
Is
or
Mr.
not
Narvane's book
published.
published, sir?
Whether it is published or not published, I urge your viewers to
I'll
look
tell
at
you
the
viewers, it is not published.
45-minute video
Ghanshyam
that
ji
Sansad
is not-
ji has put up
Okay, one
between the
second.
exchange
Ghanshyam
between the
ji
entire
is not
BJP cabal and the
It's
leader
okay,
of
sir.
opposition.
You can vent your spleen, but that doesn't change the facts on the ground. The facts are, viewers, that Narvane's book has not been published. General Narvane's book has not been published. The general himself has given an interview waxing eloquent about, guess whom, viewers? About the army's handling, about India's handling of the Chinese expansionist tendencies in eastern Ladakh. Number two, even in the excerpt that has been quoted, purportedly written by General Narvane, he says that I was given a complete free hand. Viewers, who doesn't want a complete free hand? Tehseen Poonawalla, would you not want a complete free hand to do what you're tasked to do? So much faith is reposed in General Narvane. Take your call. Exercise your professional judgment. Go out there and meet the challenge as you deem fit. That is a supreme vote of confidence from a professionally run government in another organization, another wing of this state, and say, you've been appointed to do a job, do it. So we can't compare an unpublished book or a memoir with something that has appeared, and because it has appeared, it is up for scrutiny, and so forth. Number one. Number two, I just want to ask a simple question. Rahul Gandhi calls somebody who leaves his party a traitor. Whether he's calling him Sikh community a traitor or not, I'm not getting into. I'm just saying. You call somebody a traitor, what does that reflect? What mindset does that reflect? Just tell me this.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you for having me on the show. The answer.
Your brother is in the BJP. You don't subscribe to the BJP's point of view. Would you call Shehzad Poonawalla a traitor?
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you for having me on the show. The answer. Thank you to you and Anand for the wishes you've sent for our mother. So thank you so much. She's hopefully she'll recover soon. Two quick points. If you see the interaction between the honorable leader of opposition and the honorable Minister of State in the union government, it is one where the honorable LOP indulges in friendly banter by actually saying, putting his hand out to shake and saying, look, you will come back to me. Now, it is where he's saying, look, you've ditched me, you will come back to me, hello, brother. In fact, it is the honorable MOS who tells him you are a traitor to the country. And while I do completely understand that the honorable MOS has lost his family members in keeping India united and Punjab safe, so has the honorable LOP. His father, his grandmother, incidentally, they were making insinuations about his late grandmother who's a martyr for the country. So this was completely lopsided. And why was this done? This was done because the honorable LOP was raising very relevant questions regarding a Chinese intrusion into India. Now, everything that you said, Rahul, the honorable Home Minister and Defense Minister could have said. On the contrary, they decided to run away and say one thing, that, oh, we will not allow something to have that is already in public domain. Courtesy PTI in December 2024, December 2025, to be said in Parliament. Then when they raised Bofors on an interview in Sweden, on a radio interview, what was in Parliament at that time? What was verified? So look, this is the problem with the BJP. They only want to divert. And again, I'm saying, I don't ascribe to what the Honorable LOP did. I think it perhaps maybe slightly, you can say, it looks youngish or this is not how Parliament should function. And I get those viewpoints. But he was having a friendly banter saying, brother, you will come back to me.
You didn't answer. If supposing somebody leaves your side of the fence and crosses, does that person become a traitor? Does your brother become a traitor in your eyes because he joined the BJP? Simple question tonight.
No, because he had political.
Yes, because we are in a matured democracy where people have the right to exercise their choice, viewers.
But Rahul,
Simple
that's
as that.
where you are.
Don't grudge
Yes,
them.
but just give me
Don't
one
label
line.
them for exercising a
agree.
choice. You see the
One
same
second, just one
Wikipedia.
second.
Now, hang on. That same
One second, just
Wikipedia
one second.
goes after anyone who represents a different point of view. If you are on the center right, if you're a progressive conservative, they will label you a communalist and all sorts of crap. There are judges who are sitting on the NBSA who are passing judgments against people without knowing the facts, viewers. And the courts, against the people, they have passed judgments, etc. The courts themselves, in the matters that were discussed by those anchors, have convicted the people that the anchors called out. But these judges are sitting there earning whatever they are earning. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. But the fact of the matter is, viewers, they're dispensing kangaroo justice, labeling people, damaging reputations. This is what is happening in this country. The ecosystem.
But may I ask you a
let me
question?
just bring
Just
out
one line.
No,
Just give me one line. One line. I completely get what you're saying.
That's it.
But just one line. But look at the own interaction you're showing. The Honorable LOP saying, my brother, you will come back to my
There's
side.
a
You ditched
sequence
me.
there.
And
the man
and
comes
the
up
MOS
and
is saying,
jovially
"You are
says,
a
no, let's
traitor
not
of the
twist
country."
facts. The facts have been well established. I can play out the tape again. What happens is a man comes up, Mr. Bittu, looks at this sort of rabble that is gathered on the steps of Parliament and says, have you guys just won the Kargil war? It looks like you've just won the Kargil war. You're looking so triumphant. And Rahul Gandhi turns around and says, this chap who has just made this remark, he was in my party. Today he's a Gaddar. That's when.
Who started it?
That's when. This
can't be allowed.
It was not an insult. Yes, Shahzad, go ahead. You want to respond? Please go ahead.
Yeah, look at the double standards, and I always say that tap chori may be a thing, but fact chori should not be one. Let me explain why. How this becomes friendly banter when you call somebody from the Sikh community traitor, but when Danish Ali made certain very derogatory comments about Modi ji, then in response, Mr. Ramesh Birudi said something to him personally. I don't subscribe to it. Rajnath Singh, by the way, got up right then and there and condemned it. But kya karna hai?
We all
Tap
tweeted
chori
against
hai.
it, called for action. Yeah.
But you see, tap chori is purana. Fact chori is the new thing nowadays. है ना? तो fact चोरी करके नहीं बताना है, अपने आप को intellectual बताना है. That becomes the assault on the Muslim community, but this is not assault on Sikh community. Look at the double standards. Point number one. Point number two, Tehseen Poonawalla thinks he's too clever by half. Those people were not sitting there on some Chinese issue. They were sitting there because they were rightly suspended for throwing the papers after tearing them on a Dalit, on a SC Samaj se aaya hua chairperson at that point of time. They were sitting there because they called Speaker Yar. You cannot call Speaker Yar. You cannot call people who leave your party as traitor. If that is the case, then you should call Mr. Imran Masood traitor ko le liya humne party. Thirdly, they were there because they were dancing on the table and they were trying to denigrate parliamentary procedure, which they have been doing over and over again. Now coming to the point of the Chinese issue. Let's be very clear. Is Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, I don't call him tap chore, I call him fact chore, doing fact chori of the fact that there are not one, not two, but three statements of same General Narwane, not inch of land has been lost, that we have given befitting responses, a video bite, not even somewhere.
I can play it out.
Yeah,
I can play it out.
So this is not in the realm of caravan of lies and propaganda. It is not in the realm of caravan of unpublished propaganda. It is in the realm of reality that while serving and otherwise, he and both Y.K. Joshi, who was the Northern Army commander, both have come and said that we have given the most befitting response. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, because he is not traitor to the cause, but he is he is to support the Congress's cause. So he comes and he defends that party.
Okay,
which
Mr.
gave away
Tiwari,
Aksai,
quick one.
That party which gave away Kacha Tivu. That party which gave away United Nations Security Council seat to China.
Okay.
That party that fed PLA rice when they were taking over.
Quick
Tibet.
response, Mr.
This is the
Tiwari,
reality.
and then I'll move on. Yeah.
Well, I just, because he used a slur against me.
No, you used a slur against Modi ji.
Please
Let's
allow me
get
to
the
complete.
facts right.
I did not interrupt you.
Degrees.
I did not
If you
interrupt
refer
you.
to personalized
I did
comments,
not
I will
interrupt
give
you.
it back to you.
I did not interrupt you.
No,
Please allow
you
me.
did not. First
please-
of all, get
please
off
allow
your
me to-
high
Okay,
horse.
okay,
Otherwise,
gentlemen, let him finish. Let him finish. If Mr.
Yeah, but Rahul,
Mr. Poonawalla, you can respond. Let him finish. Just let him finish. Otherwise, you'll be stuck here the whole evening listening to inanities. Yes, Ghanshyam Tiwari, go ahead.
So I did a basic Google search as he was speaking that what are the summarize the articles against RSS, BJP and Modi that Shehzad has written until 2017. Every viewer can read that and then can decide that how do you define a traitor, how do you define a turncoat, and how do you define a facture. Now let us come to the specifics of the content, the issue
Howard
that you have
should
raised.
reconsider
That
giving you a degree.
if I would
Should
interrupt you.
reconsider the degree
I did
they've
not
given
interrupt
Okay,
you. Whether-
now hang on,
whether
hang on,
Mr.
hang on. Where is this going? Ghanshyam Tiwari, you want to also then make a jibe?
Are you an advocate for
Are we
Shehzad
in a,
now?
no, are we in a conformity or are we in a democracy? Are people not allowed to change their view? Should they be brought up
Okay.
as they pop out of a crib? They should subscribe. No, I am Congress and I am RSS and I am BJP and I am so and I'll never change. I mean, come on, what has happened to you, guys? You are supposed to be all from great institutions. Some of them are from Harvard.
please
Some of them,
stop
I mean,
this pravachan
Shehzad
and
Poonawala
allow
is
me to speak.
educated, everything. Everyone is all educated here. We can all come to a moment. You know, it's
Thank you
called
for-
the Jesus, coming to Jesus moment. People
Thank
have a
you for-
eureka. They wake up. They say, oh my God, we was, sorry, hooked to the wrong thought. So let's
thank
not
you
make
for the
that
pravachan.
no, that's not, don't be sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic with you. I'm just pointing out that we don't live in a
please,
conformity,
allow-
we live
allow
in a
me to say
democracy.
what I'm saying.
I need to
I
move on
cannot-
because this is not going
I
anywhere.
cannot
I
have
thought
a
you were
sentence
rebutting him,
interrupted by you
but you are
and
now,
Shehzad
no,
simultaneously.
now you're attacking him, you're attacking me. I just want to move on, please. I'm done with this debate.
Can
It's actually going down the tube. Let's just move on, viewers, because there is something that I really want to talk about. A lot of us are parents, viewers, and this is really a meaningful story that we must look at. This is a massive crisis that is going on right under our noses. When I say our, I mean parents. A parent's worst nightmare. 3 sisters, just 16, 14 and 12, dead after jumping from the 9th floor of their home in Ghaziabad. Not drugs, not abuse, digital addiction. An 8-page diary, apology notes, scribbles on the wall saying, I'm very, very alone. The trigger, an online game called Korean Lover, a digital world that allegedly draws children in with tasks, secrecy, isolation, emotional pressure, and finally despair. If your child is playing this game or any other game that approximates to it, viewers, you have to be very worried tonight. Find out if they are hooked to such games. And I'll give you a litany of other names which will tell you what these other ones are, these other games are. But the facts are that 3 sisters, aged 16, 14 and 12, jump off the 9th floor of a building. They leave a note, an 8-page diary entry and an apology note, saying that they're addicted to a game. And they're saying, viewers, a letter to their mother and father. Sorry Papa, I'm really sorry. इस डायरी में जो कुछ भी लिखा है वो सब पढ़ लो क्योंकि ये सब सच है. Read now. Whatever is written in this diary, please read quickly because it is the absolute truth. Please read now. An emoji, a crying emoji with the word sorry Papa, read the diary. Imagine, viewers, a parent chancing upon this. On the wall of their room is scribbled, make me a heart, make me a broken heart. My life is, lots of things, viewers, written there. Scribbled and crossed phrases in the bedroom, I'm very, very alone and my life is very alone. The game in question is thought to be laced with malevolence. In the early level, it teaches you to adopt a Korean nickname or watch specific shows. At the middle level, it pushes you towards social isolation, such as skipping school and maintaining secrecy. Third level, it puts emotional pressure and threats of abandonment by virtual friends. Final task allegedly encourages suicide as the ultimate objective. It's sickening, viewers. It's a sick game. And children are actually playing it and getting hooked. This is not an isolated story. From Blue Whale to Momo to gaming disorder linked to PUBG, the pattern is chilling. The Blue Whale originated in Russia. Users were given 50 days for 50 tasks, threatened and blackmailed to complete the tasks. Momo, that game, viral trend featuring a grotesque avatar. Users receive disturbing messages, images. PUBG Battle Royale game linked with gaming disorder promoted violence and led to addiction. Studies show rising depression, anxiety, and stress among adolescents glued to screens for hours every day. In 2024, the Journal of Nature and Science of Medicine said in a sample size of 1392 adolescents and young adults, 37.9% showed depressive symptoms, 33.3% reported anxiety, 47.3% experienced high stress, 25.3% had low self-esteem because of being on this digital world, viewers. And they were viewers not supervised, going into dark holes, rabbit holes. Parents are worried as they see their kids swallowed up by this dark net. 11,000 urban parents surveyed, 61% of children, they said, between the age of 19 and 70 spent 3+ hours a day on social media and on gaming. There's a rising chorus for regulating or even banning online social media and gaming platforms for under 16s viewers. The chief economic advisor has advocated for restricting access for kids. In fact, even viewers, this year's economic survey made that point. Andhra Pradesh is studying a legal framework to ban it for under 16s. Goa is considering an Australia-like ban for kids below 16. Sonu Sood, an influencer, has come out and said ban for children is the need of the hour. Across Indian states, the clamor is rising. Andhra Pradesh is leading that. Goa, as I said, leading it. This far, these are only demands, viewers. The suicide has reopened an uncomfortable question about India's approach to big tech. By design, and now making a charge, the law as it exists grants digital platforms intermediary protection, limiting liability unless narrow conditions are met. Regulation tends to follow outrage only, viewers, or court orders, not early signs of harm. We are reactive as a society, we are reactive as a government. India has no dedicated digital child safety regulator, no age-appropriate design mandate, and no enforceable curbs on addictive features. One reason is reluctance. And let me be very honest tonight, viewers. I'm feeling the elephant in the room and painting it now, viewers. Big tech is seen as an engine of growth, investment and digital expansion, and governments have been wary of taking it on frontally. It's too much, viewers, of a milk cow. After tragedies, blame shifts to the parents, while platform accountability remains largely theoretical. What action will be taken against all those stores, viewers, on various mainstream platforms that sell these games? Zero action. Your kids are gone, destroyed. Profit has been put over your child's mental health, life, people's welfare, children's welfare. I want to open this up and have some very honest conversations tonight, because we are really staring at a precipice. We're at the edge. Dr. Ranganathan, this is saddening, but you know, I'm beginning to think that our government is soft peddling big tech in this country. You know, we've seen a duopoly in the airline sector and we've seen the consequences. We have a monopoly almost in the digital sector and we're seeing the consequences. Who's going to rein these people in?
It's a very difficult question to answer, Rahul. First of all, I'm just so distraught, not just appalled at hearing this news. It's just mind-numbing what has happened. It's a tragedy of untold proportions, and I'm so sorry that this has happened. Two issues out here. You talk about big tech. Indeed, there is an issue there. But I think this issue goes beyond, and I think it'll be, and I'm not being patronizing, all of us, I'm not, again, I speak for myself as a parent. You as well are. Tehseen is, I think the other two, I don't know about them. My apologies. But we all speak as concerned parents. The issue is going beyond the big tech or access or denying access to kids to technology. Because let's be very honest out here, denial of access is never going to stop them getting access to technology. It has never happened. We know the famous cases of denying pornography, and somehow access is always obtained. And the same would go for these games as well. Uh, as a parent, what is the next best option? Should the state come in? Let me give you just the data because I think the data is very revealing. As many as 11% of Indian kids have serious mental issues leading to depression. That is an enormous percentage. But do you know something? Not even 1% of those affected either know or get counseling. I think the time has come for the state to get serious. The schools must have at least 1 hour class every day that concerns counseling of kids. And I think more education, like you remember growing up, sex education was a taboo. I mean, it was unheard of to impart sex education in schools. Now, I don't know how common it is. Still, parents and kids and teachers balk at it. But at least it is becoming mainstream. Like that, we have to bring counseling of kids mainstream. Otherwise, this is a tsunami that is not just staring at us, it has gone past us, Rahul.
Well, in an ideal world, of course, counseling and all of that, but there are so many children, viewers, who don't even have access to classrooms in this country. But they have access to mobile phones. That's the irony. And they're using them unsupervised because a large number of times, viewers, even parents don't quite know what lies in the deep, dark underbelly of the web. And Tehseen Poonawala, speaking from experience, I told my daughter, despite all the peer pressure, that till 16 you're not going to get a phone like this, which is, this Android or whatever it's called, Samsung, Android, whatever. Not going to give it to you. And there was a rebellion for a couple of days, but she got it, she understood. We're lucky. I know of a lot of others, friends, peers, etc., who are having problems with children refusing to eat at the one extreme or trying to run away, etc., etc. There is right now a problem. And I feel that it's bigger than supervision. Something needs to give. If Australia can contemplate a ban, if Spain, as we now find out in the last 12 hours, is contemplating a ban, etc., etc., and there are others, France, the numbers, and EU is considering regulations, even UK, one of those countries where free speech is almost sort of inveiled into, they're hardwired into their DNA, is contemplating a ban. Why is it not happening in India? And I'm going to bring in Apar Gupta on that. Tehseen Poonawala, as a parent, would you advocate for that?
Yes, I do. Because children's brains are still developing until their mid-20s, and it makes it very vulnerable to dopamine-driven rewards of social media or these games. That's the first part to it. So we do need, while I'm completely against bans, we need the state and the parents to work together. The problem out here is kids don't realize that we are the generation that's going to live forever. Everything we put out on social media is going to be there forever. So you are now vulnerable to bullying, to cyber attacks, to your friends taking you down, to peer pressure, to even dopamine-driven games that make you bet or put your parents' credit cards on the line. So we do need regulations. And this argument, why should the state step in? Then in England, why do you have regulations for drinking? Beyond, you can't drink if you're not 16. Why do you have regulations for driving? Well, you can't drive till you're 18. So you do need regulations to come in. And the problem also is of parents. For example, my child is about to be 3. We've not shown him the screen so far. But I see a lot of parents, because the child is they want to distract the child, they put him in front of a screen or put her in front of a screen, and then the child is addicted to it. So the parents have to work with the state. It can't only be a state-driven approach. I agree with the doctor, but ultimately it has to be a two-way street.
Yeah, so, there are 2 or 3 issues here. One is giving people a laptop or whatever, a tablet, etc., at the age of 3, 4 to watch cartoon films and maybe hopefully regulate. You can't just give it for 8-9 hours. You can say, okay, 20 minutes, 1 hour, half an hour, whatever it is. That's it. Enjoy it while you're having your breakfast or whatever, and then it goes, right? That's regulated, it's supervised. And then there is giving somebody a mobile phone and saying, now you can do what you want to with it, etc., unsupervised. They go into and you can visibly see the signs, but don't do anything about it. Thirdly, because school now encourages you to use devices, your children by default are watching or are on and will go deeper and sort of spread their wings. And that's where perhaps the question should be about regulation. Forget the ban, regulation. Should there be fixes? Apar Gupta, a safe harbor framework we cannot have. Does India, first of all, let me just ask you this. Does India have a safe harbor framework that somehow makes big tech immune from accountability? Simple question.
The law as it stands right now provides a safe harbor framework in which online platforms are not liable for the content which is posted on it by end users. And Rahul, thank you so much for your question, because I think mental health is a really severe crisis in India's youth, and social media does impact their mental health. I think so. What we need to do is look at what kind of fixes are being looked at from a systemic perspective, because the platforms by themselves are designed in a way to keep us hooked onto them, and this impacts young people very severely. And the issue about this essentially relates to how platforms are advertising on the basis of the data which they collect from us. And the more data they collect from us means that the more time we need to spend on it. That's why we also get so much polarizing content. And again, for young people, this can have disastrous impacts. Now, what should the law do? I think so. Moving beyond speech regulation, what we should look at is how can we break these monopolies? And there has been already some policy discussion, including by the Lok Sabha, including by other bodies, on whether we need a digital competitions bill. And this looks at the fundamental architecture, the incentives why platforms are not doing enough. We also may need to look at how much more stringent regulation is being brought in by the European Union through the Digital Markets Act, where, transparency in what we see, how we perceive our reality on social media platforms is also explained to us in a way which is meaningful, rather than the self-serving transparency we see right now.
So I'm asking you, everyone now knows that we need some sort of regulation. So why isn't the government stepping in? Is profit taking being put over people and children's welfare?
There is no doubt in my mind that that profit is coming before children. To my mind, social media, the way it should exist, should actually be a space for curiosity, learning for young children, for adolescents, even for people who are adults. The impact it's had on societies has been terrible. It's been linked to cognitive decline in terms of memory, in terms of our reasoning skills, lack of social empathy. And I think so a large part of the blame goes towards, again, what I said earlier, is the platform economics. Why do they keep us hooked on? Why do we see something which is so polarizing, which plays off our insecurities? It's because it is an advertising engine. It wants to serve more ads. It wants to collect more data. And here I do think so. We have a data protection law, which is going to come into effect on 13th of May 2027, next year. And we have a competition law, which has looking at how platforms are using our data, but the platforms are able to
I don't even know. I mean, there is a whole debate.
Imposition of penalties through years.
Yeah,
so
there is a whole
need new laws.
There is a whole debate raging right now on whether even these laws will address the issue, whether they are actually watertight enough. So that's a whole different, issue we can debate another time. But I just want to bring in Ms. Shankar here. Ms. Shankar, do you believe the time has come to regulate?
Absolutely. I think the time to regulate was yesterday. Because, everybody here is a parent, and Tehseen Poonawalla, I'm seeing him I'm on the same panel with him after that infamous laughing bout that he was part of. But that's a story for another day. As a parent, right now, I sent as we were on this debate, I sent my son with a smartphone to go take pictures of himself and come for a project tomorrow. Okay. This would not have been possible for in another time and day. I could not have been part of this panel. I could not have gotten something organized while my son is getting something done at a photo studio. So it's just things like this. When I travel, when I go out for something, I have a phone, and that
I
means
understand the
access.
convenience argument, ma'am. You
Right.
could give your son the phone
So
to do a task,
the long and short
etc.
of it is,
Yeah.
the long and short of it is that access to a phone, somebody here said we cannot give a smartphone to a child. I don't think we've gone past that way
Okay, so you
long
think that
ago.
it should be all okay? Fair enough. Look, I mean,
Everybody's got a phone. So
okay, so
regulation is a must,
okay,
because now phone is in every child's hand,
that's
and
it.
it's not the child's responsibility,
So,
it's the
so it
parent's
comes back. I
responsibility.
can't regulate, viewers. We don't have the tech to regulate. The state does. The state needs to wake up.
It's
We need
very
to find a
easy.
via
It's very
media.
easy, Rahulji.
Yeah.
When this
Yeah.
WhatsApp,
Yeah.
a simple app like WhatsApp,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it here on my laptop.
True.
And I had given my phone to my son, and it was active on the phone as well. In the same way, any of these apps that the phone uses,
True.
if we are able to monitor it from another
1 minute.
device,
Yeah.
there ends the story.
Okay, very quickly.
Mr.
Tehseen, I need to move
But-
on very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ms. Shankar, let's assume you gave the phone to your child and he's on WhatsApp reading your WhatsApp. You don't want your child reading your personal conversation. So the app must
You have to
certain
make some
regulations.
tough choices. Please don't.
No.
If
Let's
you're
not
in a family,
let's not get into a different
Give
parenting
the
choices.
child a phone
Okay,
and
okay. I'm
don't
not
use
going to hang on. Just a minute. Just there's one important thing, viewers. I don't want this to keep coming back to the parent. Okay, in today's day and age, it's very difficult. You go to school, someone else has a phone. You go to class, someone has their laptop, and they found a way to break the ecosystem of the phone, of the school, and go out into the wider web, overrun some protocols. There are problems, viewers. Right now, this space is unregulated. It cannot continue. It cannot continue. I need to move on, viewers, because we're going to talk about another very important issue, this time coming out of two states. Faith is once again at the center of a political storm after Sabrimala in Kerala. Karnataka now finds itself facing disturbing questions over alleged gold theft from the Dharmaraya temple. From Tirumala to Dharmaraya, and from donation boxes to gold plating, the charge is stark. Has the state that is meant to protect temples and the Hindu faith become their looter instead? RTI records, CCTV footage and whistleblower accounts point to missing gold, compromised procedures and officials under suspicion with probes ordered and arrests already made elsewhere. Tonight we ask, is Hindu faith being looted by the state and have devotees been abandoned to their fate, viewers? And we're asking these questions because, as I said, there has been loot in yet another temple by those people who are appointed to protect that temple and its sanctity. And let's open this up. I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan on this. He's a passionate advocate for freeing temples from state control. And of course, we have other guests here like Mr. B.N. Haksar, who's a political analyst, and we have Rahul Ishwar. So I just want to first begin with Mr. Haksar. Mr. Haksar, simple question to you. Has the time come where the state gives up control over temples? Have we now crossed all lines of reasoning?
Yeah, we should consider we should consider in another way, Mr. Rahul. What is happening in all over the India, that the believers are not controlling the temple. The temple are controlled by the politicians. So definitely there should be some legal action to come into force to control the temple and the deity, because the deity is supposed to be minor, and there should be some regulation regarding this.
Okay.
Then only it will come to
important
an end.
That's an important. You see, viewers, when a political analyst comes in and begins to make comments such as this, it's important because the political class is being directly addressed. Dr. Ranganathan, who's letting down the Hindus?
the state and central government, BJP, Congress, every government. And I refuse to call this as stealing or theft. Because when the state is stealing billions of dollars of temple, not just the temple donations, the land, and we don't call it theft, we don't call it stealing because it is constitutional, because it is legalized, why are we calling this stealing? Let's add this to the theft that has been happening over the last 70 years. This is why I say we are a republic which is a banana republic ever since we became a republic. Not only must temples lose the state control that it has, but if it can't, then mosques and churches must also be brought under state control.
Rahul Ishwar, should the Muzrai board, HRNCE boards, etc., all these boards be completely disbanded now as the time comes?
I totally agree with the sentiments of Anand Ranganathan, and to take it in a positive sense, what we need to do is to free our temples. Just like our Christian brothers have a right over their own church and administering its own affairs under Article 25 and 26, just like Muslims have a right over their own mosques, we Hindus need to have a fundamental right of Article 25 and 26 for our faith to and run our affairs. And let me be very honest with this. Anand Ranganathan has said statistics many times. Billions and billions worth of rupees of temple money, temple land has been systematically looted or snatched away from temples. It's a matter of fact. We got freedom in 1947, but our temples have not got freedom from the British introduced system for the past 200 years, especially in our parts of Kerala, where Haskarji and I come from, Travancore and the southern part of India. It was back in 1812 that the British decided to take control over our temples, alleging mismanagement. And do you know the real reason? Because Hindus have been consolidating around temples to fight against the British. So the British wanted a Trojan horse inside our system,
There
and they
you go.
constituted.
So we are continuing, viewers, a colonial subterfuge. And guess what? In Karnataka, the department is still called the Muzrai department, which has been given by, colonials, Muslim colonial settlers. That is really a problem for me, Doctor.
No, and so Karnataka is controlling 33 or 35,000 temples. Tamil Nadu is controlling almost 40,000 temples. But here is the diabolical irony. There is no other phrase to describe this. The people who want to destroy Sanatan Dharma, eradicate it, are controlling the temples of Sanatan Dharma. Can you imagine such a thing happening in any other country?
Well, viewers, they always say, keep your enemy close to you. Maybe that's the philosophy that is being adopted here. Kill it from within. Who knows, viewers? I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just asking a question. I leave it at this, viewers. It's a very, very serious issue. And the time when those that talk about secularism, they need to walk that talk now, viewers. If they really believe in true secularism, then they must believe in separating the state from religion. And it has to happen ASAP. I leave it at this.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
ट्रम्प ट्वीट करके कह रहे हैं कि कृषि क्षेत्र उसके अंदर शामिल होगा, $500 बिलियन का इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा इंडिया को। इन इंडियन मिनिस्टर्स को पता नहीं है कि उसमें है क्या तमाशा बना दिया देश का, घुटनों पर लाकर खड़ा कर दिया।
पीयूष जी ने कल स्टेटमेंट तो दिया प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके शाम।
पीयूष जी की बात सच माने है ट्रम्प की? वो बोलेंगे जो ट्रम्प ने कहा है गलत है, वो बोलें, ये हिम्मत तो दिखाएंगे जो ट्रम्प बोल रहा है गलत है।
तो आपको लगा कृषि क्षेत्र में सरेंडर कर दिया?
सरेंडर कर दिया। ट्रम्प ने जो आज तक बोला वो हुआ है। ट्रम्प के सामने बोलते नहीं, तो हम उसको सच माने या इसको सच माने? इन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे खेल कर दिया।
Well, that was an earlier reaction that's coming in from Congress party over what the Commerce Minister has mentioned about how the farmers' interests are going to be paramount and they remain paramount for the country. Pallavi continues to be with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, strategic plan that's been made by the opposition, particularly the Congress party, you are mentioning that in all probability the disruption is going to continue tomorrow as well.
That's right. The Congress party had a quick meeting with Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra. All of them met just before they left the parliament. And in that, they've decided that they are not going to let this session work according to a plan of the government, which is they are going to stick to their 2 points. One, why is it that the government is running away from a reference or discussion on the contents of the Narwane book? Second, why should Nishikant Dubey not be suspended or his membership not be revoked? Because the kind of allegations he made against a former Prime Minister of India, it's not just about the Congress party, it is about the Congress. It is not about the Jawaharlal Nehru belonging to the Congress party. It is about a former Prime Minister of India being insulted, derogatory words which are being used against Jawaharlal Nehru, a derogatory reference being made to Indira Gandhi. We heard that Nishikant Dubey, of course, is completely brazening it out. He did do a press conference, but there was no apology coming in. In fact, he was giving more and more clarification about his books are very different from the book Rahul Gandhi talks about. That his books are the one on the basis of which he was having that discussion were completely substantiated, they were authenticated, they were published books, and many of them were bestsellers. Where the one which Rahul Gandhi is flaunting is unpublished, unauthenticated, and is not authenticated, and therefore there's a difference between the two of them. So come tomorrow, the Congress is going to demand one, suspension of Nishikant Dubey. That's going to be 1 point. And of course, the fact is that Rahul Gandhi should be allowed to speak, but he should be allowed to speak on the Narwane book. The government's plan is, which is what we are being told, is that we want the House to run and we want the Prime Minister to complete his motion of thanks. But if there's no decorum, if there's unruly behavior on the floor of the House, because of security reasons and because of protocol reasons, the Prime Minister will be unable to make a speech at this point of time.
And Arunima, this entire day today began with a traitor charge that was leveled against Ravneet Bittu. That is what led to the further frictions that were seen all through the day today, both inside and outside the parliament. Is Rahul Gandhi, by the end of today, also walking away with the book thief title? How at all did he manage to procure a copy of an unpublished book? That is also something that is being looked at by the Treasury benches.
So, I mean, the book is not published, so he will argue that if it is not banned, if it was banned, then perhaps there was a problem. But if the book is not published, what I have in hand is a draft copy. And he did show that book not once, but twice while leaving from the Makardwar. Earlier in the day, he came up with that copy of the book, read out excerpts, and made the charge against Prime Minister. Just now, after the House got adjourned for the day, once again, he stepped out of Makardwar with a copy of that book, showing to the cameras, making his intention clear.
Well, absolutely, Arunima. Thank you so much for that. We have Aman Sharma now joining us here. He has with him Union Minister Ravneet Bittu. Aman, over to you.
Well, yes, we have with us Union Minister and BJP leader Ravneet Singh Bittu ji with us, and he is in news because today Rahul Gandhi has made a remark about him at the gates of the parliament at the Makardwar. Bittu ji, वेलकम टू CNN News 18. आखिर बिट्टू जी हुआ क्या आज जब आप पार्लियामेंट में एंटर कर रहे थे, वहाँ कांग्रेस के एमपीज कुछ प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे और राहुल गांधी वहाँ खड़े थे, एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ?
देखो, जैसे आप हैरान हैं, आई एम ऑल्सो सरप्राइज. मैं तो मेरी 12 बजे रेलवे की, मैं तो ड्यूटी बाउंड हूँ, मैं एज ए मिनिस्टर पेपर ले था मेरा 12 बजे रेलवे मिनिस्ट्री का, तो मैं तो उसकी तैयारी करके अपना 11:30 जहाँ पे सारे